They definitely look for wild success.
What are the similar traits? The Jack Welch of future cannot be me.
Cross-cultural competencies.
He's taking decisions based on a blind risk analysis.
The career perspectives with reference to supply chain.
Hi Shahid. So diversity is now the talk of the hour. Would you please talk more about the challenges facing organizations in adopting diversity?
Hello everyone. So the topic that we have is what is diversity and what are the benefits of diversity. First of all, let's try to understand what diversity is. There are so much of research done on the topic of diversity. The reason is quite simple because it's very important for organizations. So when we talk about diversity or a diverse workplace, we mean an environment which is more inclusive and provides equal opportunities and to everyone, irrespective of the gender, irrespective of race, irrespective of religious beliefs, and anything that is different from others. Eventually, the same thing translates into respecting and valuing the skills of others, which comes out of the difference because of diversity. I can think about one of the quotes from Jack Welch, which describes how prevalent diversity is, and we cannot run away from diversity. According to Jack Welch, in quotes, the Jack Welch of the future cannot be me. I spent my entire career in the United States. The next head of General Electric is going to be somebody who spent time in Bombay, or who have spent time in Hong Kong, or who have spent time in Buenos Aires. Now, this is a very simple quote, but it describes the importance of diversity, and it describes how important it is for us to be inclusive and open-minded towards diversity. Now again, the next important thing to understand is what is there for organizations. What is the benefit associated with diverse workforce? There are so many. We can keep talking about the benefits of diversity. For example, when we talk about a diverse workforce, it's supposed to be, and it is seen that through research we have got to know that it's more productive and performing workforce. The reason is very simple. People come together, they brainstorm, they have more ideas, they share these ideas, and it eventually translates into more performance. And then when we talk about the tech industry, we have seen examples of Google, we have seen examples of Microsoft. For them it makes more sense because whole business model is dependent on diversity, is dependent on creativity and innovation, and diversity is something that can contribute positively towards that. Another especially one of the examples that you have seen in Google is the concept of open kitchens. Why is that? The answer is quite simple. They want their diverse workforce to come together, informally talk to each other, come to this informal place, and maybe this will translate into better ideas, and this will eventually lead to creativity. Another aspect of when we talk about the benefits of diversity is the cross-cultural understanding and inclusion. Now, with diversity, when we are open to diversity, we are open to cross-cultural differences as well. It's 21st century. Now, it's because of the globalization, it's because of we live in 21st century. So we cannot run away from the cross-cultural differences. So when you have an understanding towards diversity, it brings that openness in organizations, in people, to be more accepting towards cross-cultural differences. And then we may talk about what are the other benefits. We may talk about, yes, it affects the reputation of organizations in a positive way, and so on. But now the important question is, what could be the challenges which an organization faces when it comes to managing diversity? Now, when you have a diverse workforce, it's very important for organizations to manage it successfully. If not, it may backfire. I was just going through one of the articles in Harvard Business Review. It talks about why diversity fails. The title of the article was Why Diversity Fails. And if you go research about it, you can see so much of research done in one factor, that why diversity fails. The reason is very simple. We have seen the examples. If we go back to 1990s, 2000s, early 2000s, we saw Morgan Stanley. They had to shell out 54 million. Then we had the example of Merrill Lynch. We had the example of Barney Smith, again shelling out 100 million. Then in 2007 again we had the example of Morgan Stanley. Again they had to shell out 46 million. And in 2013 again we had the example of Merrill Lynch. They had to shell out 160 million. All these cases are in connection with diversity. most of them based on these lawsuits are in regards to sex or gender discrimination. We can conclude that diversity is, as there are so many benefits associated with diversity, but we cannot forget that we have to be able to manage it. If we are not, it may backfire in so many ways.